We have a corrupt president, the most corrupt president in American history, who's taken tens of millions of dollars, certainly his family has, and that's him, from the communist Chinese, according to Peter Schweizer, who's been right about this from day one. And that's just the communist Chinese. Maybe they've taken another 20 or 30 million from other countries. We know they have. Russia, Romania, Burisma in Ukraine. It's just sickening. The whole damn thing is sickening. So of course there should be an impeachment inquiry. We're going to start the program with a statement by Kevin McCarthy. You've heard this by now, but I want to comment on this. And then we have some special programming for you soon thereafter. But first, let's check this out. Go.
I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public. That's exactly what we want to know, the answers. I believe the president would want to answer these questions and allegations as well. This effort will be led by Chairman James Comer at the Committee on Oversight, in coordination with Chairman Jim Jordan for Judiciary Committee and Chairman Jason Smith on Ways and Means. Now, I do not make this decision lightly. And regardless of your party or who you voted for, these facts should concern all Americans. The American people deserve to know that the public offices are not for sale, and that the federal government is not being used to cover up the actions of a politically associated family.
Let me tell you something. I know it is, typical to attack this guy, Kevin McCarthy. I like him a lot. Now, I may not agree with him on the budget issues. We'll see how that plays out. But he's got enormous pressure on him, and he's got a very tight, very small majority. The Senate Republicans are his biggest problem. They're willing to sell out the country on spending in the budget. They're teaming up with Schumer against the House Republicans. The House Republican conservatives, they're not even united on an agenda, which is part of the problem I'm having. The Freedom Caucus, the Republican Study Group, and yet even some other outliers, they have 50 demands, and they can't have 50 demands. You got to focus on what you want. For me, it would be to slash the spending. It's that simple. But they all have different kinds of riders they want and so forth. Some are on immigration, some are on January 6th, some are on this, some are on that. If we don't get this budget under control, we lose the country. So I understand all those other issues. I'm extremely sympathetic to them, but we got to start slashing. And McCarthy's getting set up by the Republicans in the Senate. And then you've got some House members who are pushing their own agendas. But to me, if you're a constitutional conservative, this is not complicated. So we'll see how that goes. Even here, this is an impeachment inquiry. He is strongly opposed by the Senate Republicans, the vast majority of them. He's opposed by Mitch McConnell and the circle of reprobates that he has around him. Those people are not leaders. I posted the other day that they are lazy, that they're not particularly sharp, that they have been bought and paid for by special interests, and that's why you can't stand them. Meanwhile, they can't stand you. You know, the Democrat Party is the enemy of the country. The Republican establishment leadership really, even though they don't want to destroy the country, acquiesces to this. So they're useless. So kudos to Speaker McCarthy for doing that. He doesn't have to, but he knows what's going on. We have a corrupt president, the most corrupt president in American history, who's taken tens of millions of dollars, certainly his family has, and that's him, from the communist Chinese, according to Peter Schweizer, who's been right about this from day one. And that's just the communist Chinese. Maybe they've taken another 20 or 30 million from other countries. We know they have. Russia, Romania, Burisma in Ukraine. It's just sickening. The whole damn thing is sickening. So of course there should be an impeachment inquiry. Then we have some people saying, I haven't seen evidence of wrongdoing yet. What's it going to take? What is it going to take? The Justice Department is corrupt. They're not going to investigate Joe Biden. Congress is not the Department of Justice. Congress is a branch of government, one of three. It has different responsibilities. An impeachment inquiry certainly is called for. It was called for a long time ago, but they're setting the stage. They've got a lot of information, and they're continuing their investigation to determine if high crimes and misdemeanors were committed. And then you got guys like Ken Buck of Colorado, who used to fancy himself a conservative. It's been on my radio show. I see no evidence. You know what else he said the other day? He believes the January 6th defendants are being treated like anybody else. So that guy is an idiot, just pathetic. The Democrats, man, they walk in lockstep. You can hear their heels clicking from sea to shining sea. But the Republicans, the establishment Republicans, the ruling class Republicans, the Republicans who are bought and paid for, lazy bastards, particularly in the Senate, they don't want to stir the pot. They don't want to shake up anything. Let the Democrats do it all, and they go along.
Want to see more? Sign up for Levin TV.